worked with him at the University of Texas. He was a peer. I coached against him when I was at Texas Tech. He's a guy I looked at across the sideline and said, I'm going to beat that dude and his team. So he brought something out of me that he didn't even know that he did. I'm going to beat that dude right there. Brought some fire. I used him a lot in the offseason. He didn't know that, okay? He's now my friend. So it's an honor when you get to introduce your friend. Some accolades. I'll read them. It's a lot. It's too many, man. 30 years. Started in 1983. You just heard Meg talk. The first female head strength coach in the nation. You're now about to hear from the first African-American head strength coach in the world. You're about to hear the man only at SummerStrong, man. Can everybody give it up for this? It's unbelievable, man, what you do. It's unbelievable. First, Bert, Pops, like all the Sornex family, man, you guys do a great deal, man. He was the president of the CSCCA. CSCCA Coach of the Year in 2004. Hall of Fame inductee 2003. National Strength Coach of the Year Specialist 1996. Played in 4 national championships, won 2, okay? Lots of Heisman candidates, but had 2 Heisman guys. Unbelievable. 26 national award winners in his career. 300 okay, NFL players, 36 first rounders. Rounders now, 36 rounders, okay? Unbelievable. 244 and 70 overall record, okay? Unbelievable. That's a lot of games won for all you guys doing the math, okay? Trained a ton of Olympians, a ton of them. A lot of Olympians. Trained Mark Henry, one of the strongest humans that has ever walked the earth. He's also, still currently, and was back in his day, one of the strongest dudes that ever put weight on his back bench. He can still put 315 on bench and rep it 20 times today, okay? Those are some of the things that he did, like who he is as a man. He's a husband. He's a father, okay? 2 boys, unbelievable, okay? He's a grandfather. He's really proud of that, man. He's a dude that loves his family. I know he looks like that. I know we look the way we do, but he's actually a nice human being. Go up and talk to him, okay? That's just how he looks. He can't help it, okay? One of the first, okay, like we already talked about, the first, okay, like African-American head guy. One of the first 6-figure guys. I know we don't care about money, but he was one of the first 6-figure guys, a guy that raised all of our salaries in the room. He was one of those first dudes that raised the salary and went and talked and fought for all of us to get our salary raised. No, this is what we do for our industry, what we do for our athletes, so no, you're gonna pay us. That dude fought for us before you were even fighting for yourself. You didn't know that, okay? He was actually one of the first social media guys before social media was it. He's in all the he did all that. He was out there, man. He put our industry on the map, man. So this is a living legend, man, inducted into our hall, man, a living legend that's going to talk to you today. I could go on and on and on. What he's meant to our profession, the builder of men and women across the world, is what he's probably the most proud of, is that he's built relationships. We already heard about it all over the place, man. He's built relationships with his guys, with his ladies. Unbelievable human being that's going to speak to you. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm jacked up. Everybody give it up for Jeff Mad Dog Madden.
Benny, thank you, man. That was good. Really, Benny, it was damn good. I appreciate that. And so people understand, we have a history. And the history was every year after our CSCCA meetings with the board of directors, Benny would be sitting just like he is right now. He'd have a notebook in his hand just like he does right now, and he'd have his pen out. And every time I walk by, he's like, "Coach, you got a minute?" Yeah, I got a minute. We sit down, we talk, and there was amazing bonding going on right then. And yes, he coached at Texas Tech, but he was a young brother trying to get it done. And the bottom line was he came to me as a mentor, and we spoke and we talked. I liked him. I saw what he was doing, and I knew it was a way he was going to be big, big time. And he came in at Texas. He's been to Tennessee, and now he's with Oklahoma. Knocked the hell out of people from Oklahoma. Then he moved to USC yesterday.
She's moving right
She's moving right now. Y'all know who the boss is. I know how that works. I got one at home too. But bottom line is now he's going to get those Trojans back online the way they need to be. So let's give it up for Benny for giving me a great introduction. I speak around the world just like a lot of folks, that's in this room, and I've been very blessed to do it for a long time. One thing I do love is you got Pops over here, and you got Bert, and they have been doing it. Pop's been doing it forever. When I started back in '83, I met them back in those years, and still to this day, it's consistent. They brought me out here, gave me a first-class look, put me with some tremendous speakers, because everybody on this dais is a great speaker. They got a lot of heart. They've done things in this world some of y'all can't imagine to do. We got people in here from sharpshooters to I've seen your knife maker that you brought in, Bert. Where you at? Okay, over here. I've seen you got Gunner over here, who's a trainer of the superstars of all around the world. So to me, this place and this time right here is phenomenal. So give them a hand, please. I'm a very interactive person, just so you know. I know you couldn't figure that out, but if everybody would stand up, please. Bert asked me to do something that I love to do. Basically, if y'all will help me, this will really turn this thing out the way it's supposed to be turned out, okay? We have great coaches, great athletes. Where are my military people at? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. All those that coach military guys and girls, good. Now, where are my football people at? Raise your hand. Bodybuilding people, raise your hand. Powerlifting people, raise your hand. How about some just damn strong people? Raise your hand. Everybody put them up. Now here we go. It's going to be different. It's not probably something you really hadn't heard before, but I want you to think of, you see that picture right there? Y'all see Bert up there? He's pulling some weight, right? Is he pulling some weight? Yes. Is he pulling some weight? Yes. All right, well, this is what I want you to do. We're going to mimic Bert pulling that damn weight, and we all are going to scream and yell like he's the best person, the best lift that we've ever had, that we've ever seen, and I want to hear it, and I want to see you bring it. I want to see exactly what this crowd is all about, how you bring the emotion, how you turn the switch, because one thing I'm going to tell you about in coaching, you got to turn the damn switch on. When it's game time, it's time to go. It's time to go. Katie barred the door, let's do our thing, and let's bring them Warriors to the field and go to battle. You got it? Yes, so we're going to get down in that deadlift position. I ain't going to go too far down, but we're going to get in there. Y'all get down in the position. Let me see. Everybody get down. And you're going to pull it. And you're going to pull it slow. And you're going to pull with all your might. And I want to see how much shaking and vibrating and how much you can strain. I want to see you grind, because we got to grind in this thing. You ready? Yeah. Move. Let's go. Pull. Ah! Get the shake on. Let's go. Get it on. Get it on. Get it on. Get it on. Hell yeah. There you go. We got to be engaged. We got to get ready for this meal they get ready to give us. Bert wanted me to get you a little bit fired up so we can go to the meal. I'm going to tell you another thing I do with my athletes, and you'll see it on this video here. We had this deal where we've been training all year long, and they come up, and the bottom line, they put their hands up, and in football, it's offense, defense, special teams, players, and coaches, and that's our fist of power. Okay, we put it up. What we say can be used anywhere, okay? So just put your hand up and repeat after me. And when I get to the university part, you say you're whatever you're affiliated with. Also, say Summer Strong. Here we go. Say Summer Strong. Ready? The Pride. Hell no. Let's go. The Pride. Here we go. Ready? The Pride. The Pride. and winning tradition of Summer Strong will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. The pride and winning tradition of Summer Strong will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. You're damn right. You're damn right now. We wake your body up from the inside a little bit, and now I'm going to answer some of the questions y'all have been asking me since I came. We talked about my talk is supposed to be about against all odds. There are so many odds that everybody goes through. I've been listening to people talk all day, and they talk about the different things they went through in their childhood. You know, I'm not going to take you down that road. That's an emotional road for me. I had a daddy, I had a mama, they loved me to death. But I lived in the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio. Whole different world. It's a different world. If you ain't gangbanging, you ain't making it. So I was fortunate enough that the guys put me on the side and say, hey, he's gonna be something. He's an athlete. He's gonna be something. He's gonna make some money. He's gonna help us all. You know, so they kept me out of some of those situations that were bad situations. And a lot of my guys, they're not here no more, you know, because of the choices that they made. But I was just trying to stay up. When I was 10 years old, I was a basketball guy. You know, you can't tell me I wasn't Wes Unseld. Y'all know who Wes Unseld is. It's a long time ago. Big, powerful man, played on the inside, and I loved it. I used to go to the basketball court every single day. That was my conditioning. You know, I didn't know about all-season conditioning, all-season training, and we're talking about 1970s early. Just like Meg was up here talking. Bear with me now. We got a little age on us, but we're going to come to the 2022 here. But when we started, I had a guy tell me, look here, man, you little fat rascal over there. That's what he said. And I was a little chubby. I mean, I wasn't fat, but I had a little belly, you know. I had a pony keg, so I wasn't mad. You know, I was mad that he called me out my name. And I walked past him, and he said, you hear me, boy? I'm like, what, man? And he pulled out his .45, nickel-plated, put it on my head, tried to put it in my mouth. Taste this still, boy. I told you to go to the damn store and get my cigarettes, and you didn't go. He was mentally ill. Y'all know how that feels, having a gun in your mouth? It ain't fun. It ain't fun. And that's why I know there's a God, because God saved me from that and countless others, similar situations. We're at Colorado. All my players around me. We're having a great time. We're celebrating a victory. We're going to go play the national championship game, and we have a party. So the gangbangers come down from Denver because they heard, you know, there's a big party and there'll be some money out there and that kind of stuff. And I walk outside, and these guys got my guys posted up. So my hero in me, the one that back then I was super strong and tough and everything and then thought I was invincible, you know, walked up on the dude, and the dude pulled out a .22, stuck it in my chest. Pulled the trigger. So I thought it was canceled Christmas time. Gun jammed. Gun jammed. So everything my old man had taught me since I was a little kid came to life, you know, and we put him down and handled the business and got out of there. But I mean, there are opportunities and times where things come to you, you know, and I'm not trying to, some of my guys here told me to preach to y'all, and I'm preaching just a little bit, so hang with me. You know, y'all that believe, believe. Y'all that don't believe, turn me off for a second, just be respectful. Thank you. So I came home to work out one time in Cleveland, and I was with my ex-girlfriend's brother-in-law, good dude, really good dude. We're going to the Gold's Gym. That's when Gold's Gym was first built. And I mean, that thing was big, it was pretty, you know. but it was in a neighborhood that I didn't live in, that he didn't live in. So we pull up in Gold's Gym. I have one hell of a day. I'm in there, even back then I did 450 for a set of 5, on a bench. I'm not talking about deadlift, squat. I was just a bench thing, and did it easy. Had a great day lifting, because it was one of my training days. Had a great day lifting. We walk out, get in his car. He's a smaller fella, Greg was probably 5'10", 5'11", maybe 200 pounds at the most. Nice guy, though. He was an older guy. Nice guy. Had a great time. We were laughing and talking, and we're pulling through the parking lot of a huge outdoor mall, just like a regular day. Next thing you know, the police, throw down on us. So I'm like, what the hell? I look at, what the hell did you do, man? I asked, what you do? And he said, I don't know, man. I don't know. And so the guy comes to my window, and he sticks his 45, it was 9/11 back then, and he sticks it right here, right in this spot right here. I can still feel it, right in that spot. And he said, don't you move. So I'm sitting here, and I'm like, he got out, and they're taking them to the blows right now. They're putting some blows on it. So I turned to look, and when I turned to look, that guy stuck it in there, and he put my head almost up against the window. I said, don't you move. So I'm sitting there, and the Lord just get me out of this. You know what he had? He had a parking ticket from 1972 that he hadn't paid. And once again, if there was no God, it wouldn't be no Mad Dog. I tell you that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean to preach at you, but I'm telling y'all, every single day when I walk into those gyms across the country, when I train those guys, I thank God and I gave it to him and tell him, look here, man, tell me what to do. Tell me what to say. That's why I'm standing up here right now, because I was sitting over there, and this was a fun time, and we'll get you up. We're going to get you excited. Then we're going to give you a little word. Then we're going to move into the real word that you want. You got that? Is that all right with y'all? Is that all right? Well, here we go. You can give me some more juice. That's good. Thank you, dear. Help her out. When we talk about, Meg Ritchie was the other one I want to say something about. Meg and I were buddies. Understand that. Because she was the first female, I was the first African-American guy, so we bonded together. We were together everywhere. What happened was, the guy we talked about, she mentioned Doc Crease, was my coach. And Doc just passed on probably a couple months ago. But he introduced us to people. It wasn't as open as this. It used to, and I tell you what now, we got the two CEOs and Scott Bennett. You want to stand up for the CSCCA? Came to see us today, Scott, and Al Johnson. And give Al a hand. And Al is, he handles all the merchants and all that kind of stuff in his position. But one thing about it, Al was also a founding member of the CSCCA. He's on the board of directors with me, and he was one of the guys that helped choose me to become a member of the CSCCA, which they just so graciously, 2 weeks ago, made me a legend in the field. So that's touching. Good to see you. As I look around this venue, I've got a lot of folks that I know. I have a lot of them that I've coached, a lot of them that have coached with me, a lot of them that have been people that we went against. I mean, I got my North Carolina State guys back there in the back, where that Wolfpack at back there, and D'Antonio's turned that thing around and made it a good powerhouse. So, I mean, there are a lot of guys and girls out here. I also hire females for y'all ladies, just so you know. I learned a long time ago how important it was to have a lady in the weight room. So Corliss Fingers is one of my top producers. The first lady I ever hired was a lady by the name of Hicks. And she was phenomenal because she, one, kept me organized, two, made sure I did everything right. And this is pre-computers now. Y'all gotta understand now. It's pre this thing here, the cell phone thing. It's before all this stuff. It's before all your information was right there with you, and you had to go to the library to get everything. So one thing I would say, kudos to the ladies that are in the room that, come in here and run things and do what they're supposed to do. And then I watched some of the ladies outside lift the heavy stones and that kind of stuff. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And yes, I would hire people like that because they really bring a whole different era to the strength and conditioning department. Several things were said today that were right on point to the same things I'm saying, is communication. You have to have communication. In your strength and conditioning departments, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to negotiate. You heard that on the last thing with Brian Mann, and Brian did a great job. You have to know how to negotiate because every day is a different day. You will be faced with different things that you didn't even know was coming. So when you're against all odds and you see it, if you see it, fight it. Like Meg said, you go right through it, you go around it, you go under it, but you find a way to break down the barrier. And sometimes breaking down the barrier means negotiations. It means you have to give of yourself just a little bit to get what you really want. But always remember what you want before you go into the meeting. And the other thing is, just like with Pat, don't be blindsided. You see what I'm saying? Dr. Ivy over here has done a tremendous job, with himself and his guys and girls. And a bunch of the Missouri crew are in here. Y'all stand up right quick. Let me see you. You got one? You got more than that? Who else you got in here? Brian Mann? Interns? Yeah, there you are. Okay. Good job. What I was going to say about Coach Ivy is every year at our convention, I had a deal with him. And I was sitting up on the front porch. The big dog sitting on the front porch. It's a joke. But it was the board of directors sitting up there up front, and I would watch him come in. I would watch Kaz come in with the Baylor crew, and I would count how many people they had because they would come in full gear, ready for battle, every single meeting. And what's the most you ever had? Yeah, he had 17 people. I didn't want to shortchange because I was going to say 15. He had 17 people that were under him. That's tremendous, Coach. I always appreciate that. What that means is he had 17 folks coming to learn about strength and conditioning and learn about how the system works. We had a group at Texas where we had sport coaches, trainers, performance team. We had so much daggone stuff, that, Benny and I put together there, because it was a CYA. What's CYA, Mad Dog? Cover your ass. Cover it. Because you never know what's going to happen, and when somebody will hit you upside the head with a wooden stick or a metal stick in some cases. Dr. Serrano, where you at? All right. Well, Dr. Serrano, he speaks tomorrow. Yes, sir. He speaks tomorrow, and y'all better make sure you're at that presentation. But Eric Serrano saved my butt. He's a phenomenal guy. I put together a team, okay? And that team was people around me. And the reason he saved it is because it was a supplement committee, okay? And that was before supplements had any type of regulation at all. So what we were trying to do was form a supplement crew. Because I'm like, I ain't going down by my damn self now. You're not going to throw me down the river if something goes wrong, with the supplements, because I knew supplements were not regulated. But when I got there, were already giving creatine out by body pound per individual. It was just a checkout system, and you get it, boom, okay. And then other supplements were introduced. Why do we have supplements? We had supplements because the NCAA said you cannot have 3 meals a day anymore. And we went back to 1 meal. Okay, so some of y'all might be too young to know that. But they went back to 1 meal. So your players, they got a little check, like $10 or something like that, and they expected them, the big old guys, to go eat off a $10 check. and they couldn't do it. So we got the supplements in there, and we use supplements like a food supplement, you know. And what happened was, did y'all know that nose spray, Synephrine, you know what a nose spray is? Okay, all right. That was illegal in college sports. I didn't know that shit. Excuse my language. I had no idea, you know, and I read about it, and the day it became illegal, I talked to our trainers, okay, and I said, look now, you know, we had somebody using the Synephrine, you know, and now they're saying it's going to be a weight loss thing, and we're going back and forth, and so it was like everything was cool. The doctor was like, okay, yeah, that's good. No, glad you told us, that kind of stuff. Next thing you know, I'm trying to get indicted, you know, that I gave some kind of bad supplement to a player. I'm like, oh, hold up, no. Anyway, I had made a great relationship with Dr. Serrano, and that's why at this meeting, he had, you know, Bert and Pops have people from all different genres. And you need to just say hello, how you doing to somebody, stick your hand out, speak, and tell them exactly who you are, because you never know when something will cross. Dr. Serrano and I were sitting in the hallway after a presentation. He had presented, I had presented, you know, and I was like, this dude is something else, man. And I'm sitting there talking to him. We struck up a friendship, found out that we were both from Ohio, you know, and then next thing you know, he was talking about his boathouse. I mean, it was just great stuff. You know, his wife was a doctor, he's a doctor, and he became a great friend. And I'm gonna tell you now, when something goes wrong, and it will, no matter how clean you are, no matter how good you do your job, something's gonna come up somewhere, and somebody will slip a monkey wrench in there or try to throw you under the bus because they've got a friend that they want in your job, okay? And there's a lot of that out there, you know, so just be careful. There's some folks out there that, you know, they got buddy system, you know, and they don't like you because you're not their buddy. But when you turn around and you win all the damn games, they got to learn how to like you. You know, so winning solves a whole lot of bull crap. Is that right, Coach? A whole lot. Trust is a huge thing. You have to hire people and be around people that you can trust, you know, and they have to earn that trust. You just can't give trust away. It has to be earned. It's trust with your players has to be earned, and they have to trust you. That's why you have to be consistent with what you're doing to make sure that they trust you. You have to be consistent with your punishments and disciplines that you hand out. If you are, you'll have success. If you have one dude, and usually the star player, that you did not discipline the same exact way you did the other players, you'll be amazed at how much separation you can get from your team real fast. So I would suggest you stay on that and make sure you have communication with your staff. You know, I look back on what we did over the years and, you know, the success. And when Benny talked about the 244 wins, that's just from '89. I didn't count early, okay? I counted when I was the boss and I was in charge of everything, you know, and all the bowl games. So we had 24 bowl games in a row. You know, my kids thought that they went to a bowl game every single year. That was part of Christmas. You know, it was part of Christmas, you know, because I'd have one of the guys dress up like Santa Claus, you know, and bring presents out to the kids. I mean, because my guys been going to bowl games since they were 1 and 2, you know, so they thought a bowl game is something that you get, you know, when you coach and play football. And I said, no, man, it ain't nothing that you get. You got to work for it. So they have a better appreciation of it as time went on. Now, consistency with your programs. Consistency with your programs. You have to have a consistent pattern, but you need to have variation. If you sit and do the same thing over and over and over again and never change up on anything that you do, your athletes will get bored. They will get complacent. So no matter how hard you push them, you got to want them to want to work out. You have to have them to where they're hungry, just like we're hungry for this food right now. You got to want them to be hungry enough to go ahead and do what you want them to do. And how do you do that? You create competition. You create competition. Coach, what you mean by competition? I mean, I'm not talking about having a weightlifting meet in the weight room all the time, but that don't mean when we get out there on the field, we can't have a med ball race or some type of tug drill. That's why I was talking to some of the military guys earlier. You guys familiar with the tug, what the tug is? We got the handles on both sides and you pulling and tugging. I tell you what now, that is a sign of who is a tough SOB and who's not. That thing will show you who will fight when it's time to fight. And what I learned is some of my guys learned how to master that thing. So when them big old dudes would take on a wide receiver or DB, you never know who was going to win. Because you would think that the 6'6", 365-pound guy automatically is going to drag him. He may drag him about 4 yards, but when that smaller guy digs in and pulls and turns and twists, next thing you know, the big boy's on his butt, and his team. And what I did was, if you won, we celebrate. If you lose, we don't celebrate. So what do? Somebody said up downs. That was one of the things. What else do we do? Huh? Win. Yes. Whatever we're doing, we're trying to figure out a way to win. You talking about changing the culture, and I heard that several times today. You talking about changing everything at your university or changing things in your group. You have to change that culture. You have to change it to a winning culture. That's what it's all about. It's all about winning. And you can create drills every single day. You have some form of a drill that they either win or they lose at. And I'm going to tell you now, when I went to school, I had Doc. He set up a drill that if you lost the damn drill, he had pom-poms over there. I'm serious. He had pom-poms on the sideline. So if you lost, whether it was tug of war, it was a fireman carry, whatever it was, and you lost, you had to get your butt over there and do a little pom-pom dance for these guys, and then you had to carry all the equipment back into the weight room. So, I mean, that was pretty frustrating because I lost one time and I never lost again. I'm serious. My group lost, and it's amazing how leaders are born. It's amazing. When you got a competition drill, and you can have guys on there and you can have some of the toughest studs on your team or some of the toughest ladies on your squad, and they're out there and they don't do what everybody feels as though they should have done, you'd be amazed how one of them little ones will get up there and get in somebody's face because they're pissed off because they had to do some extra work because you didn't give the effort that you gave. So competition is a tremendous thing. Commitment. Are you committed to what you're doing? Of course you say, yeah, I'm committed, Coach. But hell, like Benny, we were talking earlier, when you're putting in 18-hour days, 16-hour days on a consistent basis, and Benny was talking to me about what they're doing now, and they're working 7 damn days a week. 7 days a week. That's a lot. That's a lot because if you're up and you're out and you're in the gym at 5 and then you're not getting home till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, what time do you have for your family? What time do you have for your children? So that goes back once again, negotiate. As you get better, as you teach those kids how to win, as you get all those kids on your side and have them in a situation to where they'll do anything for you, and that's one thing I can say about my teams now. They would tear that damn wall down if I said tear it down. They would. I'm telling you they would. And I tell you what, Bill, you can attest to that. I mean, some guys in this room that can attest to that. All of a sudden, you think you got us down, and we turn that damn switch on. I'm telling you now, it's a different world. It's a different world because now they realize if they don't win this damn game, you got to fool with Mad Dog tomorrow. You do. And he ain't going to be happy because we did one or two things. We either danced and had a good time when we won because, they outlawed the end zone dances and all the stuff for kids, and they took the fun out of the game to a certain extent. So we did whatever you did. If you had a great play, if you made a big catch, if you made your first touchdown, we just get in the line, we do our thing, have our little music thing going on, and you could either dance, you could tell a joke, a clean joke. It had to be clean. I mean, it couldn't be racially oriented or anything like that, or you did something else. But it was amazing how much talent we had on those football teams. Not just on the field, but I mean guys that could rap, guys that could come out and do, they looked like one of those Olympians out there with all the different flips and splits and trips. I'm like, damn. Oh yeah, practice over with, man, yeah. Because they made practice over. You see what I'm saying? So what I would do is say, look here, we are gonna get 20 minutes of work. And you're like, oh, how do you get 20 minutes of work? Because all the work we've done before has already prepared them. They're really ready, and I should be giving them a day off. But I had to have them in there because the head coach said you got to have them in here every single day. Okay, so we had it. So what do? We turn that into a competition day or a fun day. I'm not telling you you have to play games all the time. But what it did for our teams, once the competition was created, and we would set up groups, we would have charts and the whole 9 yards, and those guys, and the same thing with some of our other teams with our Olympic sports, they would compete so daggone hard during that period of time, you would think it was game day. So if you're emulating game day on certain days, when you get to the game, it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy. When we're coming out and we're giving, right now we're down by 10 points and we're playing whatever team at the given time that was coming up on the schedule, and either we're going to win or lose today. If we won today, and it was all by what I thought. If I thought it was a win, we go for it. If it wasn't a win, we got to do something else. So you got to be the regulator. You run the stopwatch. If you say 10 seconds, you're running the stopwatch. Only person knows 10 seconds is you, right? Only person knows is you. So I mean, if it's 13, if it's 14, if it's 7, it doesn't make a difference. You got to do what's best for your team, and you have to figure out your kids. If you know who your players are, and somebody said this earlier today, as you work them, you have to know them, and especially like on this mental health thing that they were talking about earlier today, I can read my guys and girls when they walked in the gym. I know who had a good night, who didn't have a good night, who broke up with whose boyfriend pissed them off, whose girl was out, on 6th Street somewhere where she shouldn't have been, at the given time. I would know it all because they would, one, tell me, or their face, their body language, how we did our warm-up, it all tells. And you have to be in tune with your team enough to know, and not only you, but you have to teach all your assistants to be in tune. So your assistants know what goes on. Then you have to have communication to the point that your assistants are going to come and tell you. You see what I'm saying? Because if I see somebody over there and they're not doing the level we should be doing, and you got Trey over here, Cepeda's over here coaching the group, and I don't see the fire coming out of his group, I'm going to get on Trey when we get back inside. But while we're out here, if Trey comes up and says, Coach, his mom died. I'm like, okay, I appreciate you telling me. Then I'll leave and go over there, pull the kid, and talk to the kid. But once again, that's because you got to have a great relationship with your trainers and your training staff because you have to have the respect for them. And I know some guys and girls do not get along with their trainers. Fix it. Fix it. You be the one to fix it. Because when something goes down and something happens to one of those kids, when those lawsuits come in and you're sitting on that damn stand, you don't want to be on that stand. You want to be up there, and I can't remember who spoke this morning, but somebody talked about, was it Brian, was that you again? Talking about what was happening at, what's the name of that damn school? Oregon. Huh? It was Meg talking about what was going on, And bottom line of that is you have to protect each other. You got to have your emergency action plan set and make sure you do all your CPR and AED stuff. And you have to be the professional. You have to be the one. What happens when a kid goes down? Are you going to be the one to save him? What if somebody goes down in here? What if my big ass drops right here on the stage? Is somebody going to come and save me? I would hope so. I would think we have a room full of people that knew CPR, that had their cell phones out, that can tell you exactly where everything was and what was going on, make sure my airways were clear, and got down there and got me back to life. You know, I beat a hole in my chest, break my ribs. I don't care. Find a way to get it done. But you got to have that inside yourself to know that these are the things you need to do to help your athletes, whether you're in a gym situation, whether you're out in the street, out there in the fields, doing all the daggone outdoor training stuff, whatever it is, you got to be ready for it. When I say control, having control of the room, you know, having control of your team. You know, I remember we went to Disneyland Classic. I think we played Tennessee, and Tennessee was supposed to win the national championship. They had a great team back then, so you know it's some years ago. Well, Texas had a great team too. You know, it was some years ago. So, but the bottom line is, you know, we were prepared, and when we stepped out in formation. You know, when we walked down the street, we were in cadence. I mean, all the different things, you know, so that's why hats off to the military guys, because my dad was a Marine, you know, and he taught me a lot of things about team and, you know, sacrifice and, you know, family first, you know, God, family, all that kind of stuff. And it stuck with me. And I've been teaching other folks the same exact things as time goes on. What are your goals? Everybody. You just want to be able to leave this place better than it was when you got here. You got to want when you're in your program, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered? When people speak of you, what do you want them to say? You know, when you look in that mirror every single day, you know, and you do that mirror test, you want to know, what did I do today? Did I get better today? Did I get worse? You see what I'm saying? Am I excelling to be the best I can be? Or I'm just another dude, you know, and you just don't want to be another dude now or another girl. You want to be the best at what you can do. Whatever you can control, you handle it, and you try to drive to be the best at it. Fun. Fun. Why is the word fun in weightlifting? These are kids. We train kids anywhere from 17 to 23 years old in collegiate athletics, you know, and they may be big, grown-looking kids. I mean, some of them are giants. I mean, I'm standing next to my guys, and they're like all like this and this wide and that kind of stuff, but they're still kids. They're still kids in grown men's bodies. You know, same thing with your other Olympians and all the different sports. They're kids, but they're working at a high level now, and they're tremendous athletes. So you got to make sure you got multi-millionaire people that you're training every single day, just like the pros, you know, just like y'all do down there in Charlotte, you know, Panthers, right? Charlotte Panthers, yeah. You know, that's Corey, you know, y'all get to meet him too. Y'all make sure you walk up to him, you want to know something about training in professional football. So like I said, we got people from all different worlds and all different lives here. Take the weight room to the field. What does that mean? All the things y'all do in here, all the yelling and screaming that we did, pulling those weights earlier in the day in the morning, and everybody was grinding to be the best that they could be, and everybody was kind of trying to show off a little bit for themselves, show off for what's inside them. You know, guys getting ready for Summer Strong. People been working out, getting ready to come to Summer Strong, you know, because they want to make sure they are right. I'm telling you now, I'm sitting at home, and I'm watching Benny on social media, and he's doing his morning workout on Sunday for Summer Strong. You know, he's getting after it and doing the good stuff. Oh, shit, let me get out this chair, go over here and grab this band and lift the band and do my little thingy here for a little bit. And that's enough for today. But I made one step closer to coming to Summer Strong. You know, I'm one step closer to being here, you know, try to do the best I can do. Now, I think I jumped the gun, so you can go ahead and hit that deal for me right quick. Give me a minute here. Just a little B-roll they had for us.
The players are jumping up and down in unison in a newly formed tunnel. I've never seen this kind of enthusiasm for an entrance for the Longhorn.
And listen to the crowd go absolutely bananas.
These are just various games. We had never done those kind of things, and you brought in excitement and enthusiasm.
At 8-4 and a three-way tie for first in the SEC's Western Division. Meanwhile, a 10-2 year for Mack Brown and the Texas Longhorns. And as you can imagine, the Longhorn faithful rise as one in burnt orange.
Not being trusted to the weak nor the timid. It's on, baby. Fire hit! Booyah! Work time. Work time. And there's a bunch of them like that. So, you know, they just captured what they could capture to show. Go to the next one. Oh, wait a minute. No, they had me some. Okay, this is me. Okay. Anybody hip to the Peaky Blinders? Raise your hand, Peaky Blinders. All right, now this is my man right here. You know, and if you ain't seen Peaky Blinders, you need to check it out on Netflix. It's a little different. But this man is a boss, okay? He's a big-time boss, but it says I'm a popular loner. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me, but my circle is small, and I'm usually by myself. My circle is small, and I'm usually by myself. And why I say that is because that's the reality of a lot of the things we have going on in this world. My circle is small. There are certain people that I deal with. There's certain people I have respect for, those that have done it, you know, better than me at a higher level, as good as me at a higher level. You know, those that have gone before me, my elders. I have tremendous respect for my elders. I have tremendous respect for those that have achieved the goals that I want to achieve. You know, and one thing about that, I think it keeps me on a certain mind frame. You know, and when you say that circle is small, you have your guys with you, your girls with you, or whomever, and you keep that small. Because as you go outside that circle, people come in with things that you don't really want in your circle. You know, so you have to make sure, even if you're at your school, if you're training your athletes in the NBA like Klaus, I mean, when you're doing these things, you got to make sure that those people that are training with him and training around him are training in a very similar way, and that they communicate, you know. So if something's wrong with one of the athletes that's on our squad, I want to make sure you tell me. Okay, don't let me be blindsided. Don't let me catch you, or I'll do like Pat Ivey did when he said you chop you off in the front end, chop you off at the back at the same time. You know, because it's so important that you have these multimillionaire athletes. It's changing. The game has changed, you know, to the point where you have this new NIL thing, you know, and basically we talked today with a groups of people. Y'all are coaching semi-pro athletes. So now you got that star running back that you used to say, well, if you don't do this lift here, we ain't gonna play you this week, or, you know, if you miss these days in class, you know, you're not gonna play. But if he's making $5, sometimes $8, $9 million, how in the hell are you gonna keep him from playing? How are you gonna do that as a strength coach? How are you gonna instill discipline in him at the $8 million mark, and we got linemen over here making $50,000, you know, or making nothing? You see what I'm saying? How can you discipline him the same way you discipline them? That's gonna be a whole nother thought process. You see, and that's something you're going to have to get with your different head coaches on so you can know exactly what to do. You know, is our head coach here that has won all the state championships?
He's not here. He has his son graduating today.
He was here yesterday.
I believe he did.
Okay, yeah, he stopped by and said hello. I just want to make sure, I was going to shout him out too to make sure. But the other thing is sideline behaviors, okay? And I was spoke on a little bit today. What Meg Ritchie said was so key and on point. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't make our strength coaches look like a clown on TV. Please stop it. I know you want to get your moment in the sun. I know you want to be on Instagram famous and all the rest of that thing, get your hits and get your likes up so the girls will like you and all that. Don't do that, man. Not on the sideline. If you got your players and you're all together, I remember one year, 1989, we had never beat Nebraska. I took the job there. Excuse me, Nebraska fans, you got your butt whooped. But, you know, they came in the house and Boyd was there and, you know, Boyd was doing his thing, you know, and Boyd was telling me how, you know, they wanted to lift before they played us, and he didn't understand why I wouldn't allow them to use the weight room before we played. And I said, boy, you're asking me to use my weight room and kick my butt after you work out. That makes me look dumb. You know, that makes our program look dumb. But he said, well, all the other teams in the Big Eight are letting me do it. And I said, well, man, I ain't doing it. And he had tremendous respect for me for not doing it. But long story short, we win the game. We physically won the football game. And that was unheard of because I think they were number 2 in the country at the given time. You know, Colorado had been a 6-5 team, you know, at the most before it took over there. They went to the Freedom Bowl. And y'all remember the Freedom Bowl out there in California? And I think they won the game. They won the game, so they were 7-5. But they had never had the national exposure and been able to go play for national championships. But that was the first game that set us off and put us in the right direction to go play for that championship. What I mean by doing stupid things or dumb things or some of the stuff, y'all know. Anybody seen it? Has anybody seen guys on the internet acting and doing things that they shouldn't be doing just to get likes? This is an honorable profession. Other people may not think it's honorable. If you're a strength coach, you better damn sure think it's honorable. You have that badge of courage on your chest, and those kids are looking to you as their big brother, their daddy, their mama, or whatever to try to help make them be the best they possibly can be. So it's your commitment to them to try to work to be the best, to try to help them be the best. You know, it's not, I'm going to give you an example. I have to do it. I did something in 1989 right before that game I was telling you about that we did win. I dressed up. It was freezing cold. It was like maybe 3 degrees in Boulder. You know, that's high elevation up there. I mean, I was freezing. I come from Texas, and I'm up in Colorado in Boulder, and we're freezing. They had a snowstorm come in, and they had taken 22 dump trucks of snow off the field so we could play the game. Why is it 22? Because my office was facing, I sat there and counted them as they came in and out. I couldn't believe how much snow they were taking out of there. But, so I'm sitting here because I hear my guys in the locker room talking about, oh, they're cold, they're this, or that. And my man BC had given us Long Johns. Y'all know what Long Johns are, you know, and we had the cool ones. They were black and skin tight, and I was hulked up like some of these big dudes I see walking around here, like Aaron Asmus out there in the back. I was all swole up, muscled up and everything. But what they did, they had a deal that went over your head. So this is with my team, not with the cameras, not with other people outside of our family, outside of our circle. We kept it inside the circle. So I came in there, and I dressed up like the Black Ninja. I did, the Black Ninja. I had 2 or 3 of my equipment guys put on their Nebraska jerseys from the week. And they were coming down there talking all this kind of mess. And then I came out from behind the lockers, creeping and doing martial arts and stuff, and I took down the bad seed of Nebraska, and we won in the locker room, and then we took it out on the field and won it on the field. But the bottom line to it, I did something fun for the kids. It was out of my element, but it was a great feel for them, and they still talk about it now. What is it, 1989? What's it, 2022? They still talk about it. Oh, man, remember when you was the Black Ninja? You came up there, jumped off the top of the locker? Yeah, it was cool. And yes, I did jump off the top of the locker. And yes, then I was even more agile because, I was doing all the lifting. And, well, matter of fact, and, guys can tell you about it. At one point in time, because I had Fred Hatfield, Dr. Hatfield, you see his pictures over there. He's one of my mentors. And Fred and Doc Creasy got together, and they were trying to do something to get the Olympics to pick up powerlifting. So I was going to be one of the representatives to do bench press on powerlifting, because in 1987 I did the 602, which is a mere. In 87 it was hellacious super lift. It was muscle fitness, and that's where it went. No shirt. There he is. Hey, stand up. That's Dr. Serrano. Give him a hand. That's the guy I was telling y'all about that helped save my life and helped, keep me going. No shirt. It was just straight up raw power. And I didn't know how strong I was, because we didn't have cameras. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all the stuff, but I was doing things that I see guys on there doing now. Like, man, I ain't do that shit. You do 500 for a set of 5, I can do that. And it makes your young mind take over. But the bottom line to it is, don't do things in public just to boost yourself and boost your ratings and try to be that guy, because you got good coaches out here that have been blood, sweating, and tearing every single day trying to keep this organization and keep this thing clean and good. Clean and good, because that's the bottom line. Folks work hard. You got Pops, you got Bert over here. I remember when Bert was doing his thing in high school before he he used to come to the clinics with his dad, and now I see him, running this major corporation. I went back in the back, unbelievable. All that stuff y'all got going on back there, unbelievable. Young coaches, and Corey did this, so I'm going to say, I will raise your hand, Corey, so they see who you are. Stand up, let them see how good you look. Now, give him a hand. He's a great guy. Great guy. He's my fraternity brother, and he also, he also came from Cos, right? After Cos. He came after Cos, yeah. But what I like about him is he reached out. What do you do? Reach out. I live down the road, maybe 2 hours, hour, 45 minutes, and he reached out, and I went down there to try to help him. And help was just having a conversation, because sometimes these older coaches, you got guys in this room, that have been in the war zone for 20, 30, 40 years, and we've been through every battle. So we know how to get out of stuff. We know when something's coming. We can kind of see it on the wall when you call us and tell us what's happening, so, hire an older coach. He can help you. He can help you. He can be one of your 5. He can get in there. Now, you don't expect him to lift all that heavy stuff and take it out to the field and that kind of stuff, because he ain't going to be able to do that. But he will run that room when you ain't in there. When you're up there with that head coach and you're sitting up there going back and forth, battling, he can run your room. He can have the set of eyes that sees everything that goes on, because when you've been in that room long enough, you can see a whole lot. Because even though I'm looking this way, I'm seeing what the hell's happening in that corner over there, because the peripheral takes over, and you can count reps. You can count multiple reps. I know now y'all got cameras now, and, you got all this kind of fancy jiggamajigs or whatever you call them, but what do you call them? I don't know, hell, it's fancy. It's fancy, but I had cameras too. Benny can tell you. I had the place wired. I could see it all. Why did I do that? because I wanted to count what every person was doing in each rep. And you'd be amazed, I would sit up in my office and I'd say, Brian Simmons, come up to my office, Brian Simmons. And they were like, ooh, he got you, he got you. And I'm like, dude, why did you only do 4 when you're supposed to do 5? Why did you leave one on the table for your teammates? It wasn't difficult that you couldn't get it. You just thought wasn't nobody looking. Oh, yeah, coach, I'm sorry. Well, get down there and do another set. It was simple. It was a simple formula to let them know, hey, the eye in the sky don't lie. And they used to always say the eyes of Texas is upon you. But I did it at North Carolina. I did it at UNC, Cincinnati, Rice, everywhere I've been. I've been that kind of person. So I just want to make sure you guys and girls are having a great experience and y'all are doing the things y'all want to do to try to help us be the best we can be out here. Now you can go ahead and hit it again. What we got? All right, that's just some of the, I don't know if you can read it back there, but it's just some of that stuff he talked about with the bowl games and Heisman Trophy winners. I had 6 guys as finalists, and 2 of them won it. I had 4 Thorpe Award winners, Buckets Award winners, Davey O'Brien, 3, 2 Walter Camps, 2 Dokes, 2 Nagurskis, Lombardi, 3 Maxwells, Mannings, and Hendricks. So I had some pretty damn good players. 32 in the first round, 300-plus pros. And that's with me counting off the top of my head and naming them and writing them down. There's probably more than that. But that, this was enough information I had to get to send off to the Legends Committee. We can hit it one more time, but we can go forward. All right, I've talked about the place of coaching university. Rice University was first, Colorado was second, North Carolina, and then Texas. We don't have a picture of the University of Cincinnati, but I was a damn Bearcat when it all started. Coming out of college. I got my first head job at 21 years old. 21. So I came straight out in the fire, both feet in the fire, running a program. But I was a mature kid that wanted to be great, and I knew I could help people. I saw a guy walk around in shorts and T-shirts every single day. Everybody in the country knew who he was. Everybody in the city of Nashville knew who he was, should I say. He had a brand new Jeep. And they gave him an apartment. He gave him an apartment, and they paid him. I can't believe this, man. They paying you to do this? They're paying you to teach us how to lift weights. They're paying you to show us how to do speed. And I was fortunate enough, he brought in the Canadian track team every year, so we learned about speed. So I was a big man that could run, and that makes a big difference. You got to be able to run. You can't just lift weights. Okay, hit it one more time. All right, these are some of the guys I work with that I give a tribute to. I went with Watson Brown was my first coach, and he also was with me at Cincinnati, and then he moved on and went to back to Vanderbilt. Then Fred Goldsmith took over. Jerry Burnt was another one at Rice. I went through 3 head coaches at Rice. So you're doing something right when you got 3 of them. Then Bill McCartney, Promise Keepers. I don't know if y'all remember Promise Keepers. He was trying to heal the relationships of men and women around the world, and he did his thing. And then Mac Brown. I had 22 years with Mac Brown. Like Mac Brown said, hell, marriages don't last that long, dog, But it worked. It worked, and we won a bunch of games. I got him up to 200 wins. You want to hit it? All right, these are some of them young fellas that I was telling you about. You got Ricky Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, Rashaan Salaam. People didn't know it, but I coached Cordell Stewart. I went with Cordell when he was Slash. He had a great run for a short period of time. They had a couple of different coordinators. Mike Griffin, Mike G was right at the Tennessee team. Casey Hampton was a beast down here. Casey played nose tackle for the Steelers. So I had Casey, followed by Gary Howe, followed by, I had 3. I had 3 of them at that nose position on the Steelers for a long time. Then I probably have 5 other guys who was on the team. Jamal Charles was a speedster. We talk about cross-training. And Trey's in the room. Trey Cepeda in here? There he is. There's Trey right there. Y'all give Trey a hand. Trey worked for me at Texas. Trey also handled all the Olympic sports. So we coordinated on, you had guys that did dual sports. And like Coach said, he was proud that I was able to do that. And all I did was, hey, Trey, with what you got this week? You know, what's he going to do? Well, this is where he needs to be when he comes back to football. And we talk, you know, it's very simple. We talk back and forth, throw programs down on the thing. Then we talk weekly. Was it weekly we call? And make sure he was making the progress. You know, make sure he wasn't missing in between. Because, you know, sometimes kids just sneak over to one weight room and not go to the other weight room. He was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. So when he came back, he was ready. And he got drafted, and, you know, he was all pro. And a lot of all these guys on this one are all pros except for Colt. Colt wasn't all pro yet. Earl Thomas, you know, Earl's gotten a little trouble lately, but Earl was a beast, a young beast. You know, Aaron Ross, he married Sonia Richardson, so we had gold medals in the Olympics that year for her, and then he won the Super Bowl that year with the New York team. Then Colt McCoy still playing after all these years. Mike Huff, phenomenal player. He's coaching DBs and helping out at the University of Texas now. But Huff Daddy was a kid. He benched 405 from the corner position. He was a grown man. Grown man. Next. All right, here we go. Let me hold it back a little bit here. These two guys right here. On the left, you have Dr. Squat, Fred Hatfield. Phenomenal lifter. Phenomenal lifter. First man to break that, 1,014 barrier on the squat. Phenomenal guy. Great friend. When I had my first child, the first gift I got in the mail was from California from Dr. Squat. He gave me the onesie power lifting thing. It was cool, you know, but my son loved it. My wife loved it, and I've always held him in a high regard. When the job came open in New England, he was up there helping them out, the New England Patriots. He was up there helping them out. And he told them, hey, man, y'all need Mad Dog. I can't do this full time. You need Mad Dog. You know, so I went out there and interviewed and had a great interview and wanted too much money. But, you know, I couldn't live in somebody's garage. I had to make money, you know, and I say to y'all, don't worry about money. Back then I worried about money because I was the one bread earner in the family and I had 2 kids. So, you know, when they told me they were going to pay me 50% of what I was making in Colorado already, I'm like, hell, what I'm going to do, live in your garage? They're like, yeah, you can live in my garage. I'm like, are you mine? I'm not living in your garage, dude. But anyway, that's how it was, and they end up hiring somebody else. They got, I think it was Jan Picker back then. Jan was a throws coach. The guy that's standing next to him, E.J. Doc Crease, all right? Doc Crease was my strength coach in college, great friend. He was a man that would lay it on the line for you. I would run through that wall for him. Just like I told my guys, I would run through it for him because he put me in the situation. He was the one that talked to Watson Brown, and Watson asked him, you know, Doc, do you think Mad Dog can do this? Because I was 21 years old. I was just turning 21, too. So you think he can do this? He said, hell, coach. That damn Mad Dog, now he'll coach him up real good. He'll give you a hell of a team now. You need to hire Mad Dog. Enough said. He said that to him. Watson called me and said, Coach, I need you to come in and, you know, we come in here, you take this GRE, and I want you to be my strength coach. I want you to coach guards and centers. That's back when we can do both, you know, be on the field and in the weight room. And that was the beginning of my career in '83. You know, but we lost Fred a few years ago, and Doc just went up to put the weight room together for us in heaven, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. But bottom line, when you believe and trust in people, love that man. Next. That's Fred, Powerlifting USA. Next. All right, these young fellas. We were doing a benefit for kids. The one in the Sooners over here, your guy, Benny, is Tommy Harris. I've known Tommy since Tommy was a kid, and Tommy went on in the NFL and played a long time, made a bunch of money, did some great things. And then I think year 5 or 6, he had a very unfortunate thing. His wife had just had a baby, and she had an aneurysm and died. So when you talk about fighting through obstacles, when you talk about going through challenging times, that's the kind of stuff that they don't teach you. You got to learn on your own. And he's manned up, and he's going around the country speaking to folks and helping other people that go through those situations be successful. The one on my right, the big fella who was born on the same day, 10 years apart, God did two things right, put us both on June 12th, made us Gemini, so we got them crazy personalities. But you're talking about a brawler, somebody that's a great person that will fight for you to the death. That's Mark Henry. And Mark Henry was the strongest man that Bert was talking about. You ready? All right, what does that shirt say? What does the shirt say? Army. I just want to know if y'all still with me. What does the shirt say? Army. Yeah, Army. And this you might want to do. I started to do it and just go around to different schools and do it and try to make money off of it. But the bottom line is, we at ROTC. ROTC trained at 6 a.m. Every day, just like we did, and they would be out on the track running and doing all that kind of stuff. So I hook up with Air Force, Navy, then we get the Marines, and we get everybody, Coast Guard, everybody together, and I had a Mad Dog contest. They wanted to do the things that the football players do, okay? So what I did was I had the football players that I knew were mature enough that would coach them up and help them out and be really enthusiastic. They were their coaches. So we created a competition. So on Wednesday morning, once a year, we would all come in, and every battalion or every group of, I don't know all the words, Benny knows all the words, group of people for the military would be in their pods, in their section, and they would come in, and we would have one hell of a battle. It was so fun. It was so fun to see so many of those kids compete against each other. Right now, this is just a sled. You know how you do the push sleds, like the players do, and we usually add weights on the poles? We didn't add weights, we added humans. So, you got guys pushing guys, girls pushing guys, guys pushing girls. Next one. But it was always a race. This is the tug that I talked about for y'all that don't know the tug. This is a battle. Now, who's that in the blue shirt? Is that the Navy? Nobody knows? Okay, and that's the Army again on this side. So we got different groups. Now, we did the same thing with them. When you win, you celebrate. When you lose, you don't celebrate. You have to pay a penance. But that one there probably weighs about 65 pounds, I would say. And all you got to do is pull them 5 yards. You're talking about some serious, tremendous battles. I thought some of my players had great battles. When these groups got together now, and they would talk mess to each other because their coaches were on the sideline where what do they call lieutenants, their generals or whatever. They were all on the sideline talking crap back and forth to each other. So it was so much fun. Next slide, please. Okay, I know that guy right there. Y'all know that guy right there? Yeah, that's my dude. Now, they said, well, Coach, why you got a picture with him? Now, what we did was, he was the governor of the state of Texas, okay? And George Bush used to train with me at Texas. And it was a great training experience because he wanted to, he's got such a competitive drive. I mean, we would be working and we'd be doing dumbbell bench or something like that, and he'd watch somebody walk up to the rack and get something a little bit heavier, and he'd walk over there and he'd grab them weights and he'd get the big. I said, hey, man, you ain't got to do that. He said, no, I got it, Coach. And he'd get over there and he'd do a set, and of course I protected him and make sure the thing never fell on him, but his drive was so phenomenal. And I don't care about your politics. I give less than a damn about what your politics are. I'm talking about the man, okay? I like the man. And what he did was he invited me and my wife to the governor's mansion, and we had a great time. And you know who I got to meet? Condoleezza Rice. Y'all know who she is? She's probably one of the most intelligent, accomplished women I have ever met in my life. She was talking to me, and I was like a little kid in the candy store just listening to what she had to say. And I'd go to another subject. She know about that. I'd go to another subject. She know about that. Talk about football. She can tell you every daggone person that's playing in the game and who's the great player and who's not the great player, and who they should get rid of. I was like, oh, my gosh, where did you come from? Seriously, I mean, she is amazing, how intelligent she is. But that was at our championship game. They said, do not touch the president, do not touch the first lady. And I'm standing up there. Of course, I got my suit on. Y'all don't see me in that too often. But I had a suit on, and Laura Bush, his wife, walks out first. And she's got her Secret Service people with them and that kind of stuff. And she sees me, and she says, Mad Dog. And she walks over, and she hugs me and kisses me on the cheek, and they're all talking. POTUS, what's she called? What's she called? SCOTUS? POTUS, yeah, and they're talking all into the microphones and stuff. We told y'all not to touch them, and I'm like, oh, well, she hugged me. You know, what you gonna do? I didn't know it was on international TV. You know, I mean, because they had a whole lineup of people, you know, probably as many as half this room back here that were on the cameras, but I thought that was just regular. We had that at Texas all the time, so I thought that was regular news coverage, you know, local. Here we go. Y'all know that guy? Does anybody know him? Is that John Cena? All right. You see, y'all understand why I come out to music and stuff now, because I had John Cena, I had The Rock, I had The Undertaker, I had, these are regular guys. You know, Austin's a pretty nice place. You know, all these guys come in and they train, and, you know, and Benny got some of that when he started joining us. You know, he got to see, he said, damn, the coach, all these people come here, you know, and you'd be amazed at how many folks come through that weight room, you know, and we treat them like kings and they treat us like kings. You know, I have my whole thing, they come in, come up to my office, we sign a waiver, we get together, boom, everybody hit the floor and go to work. The only thing about it, when The Rock came, y'all know The Rock, right? Does anybody here know Dwayne Johnson? Yes. I mean, The Rock, okay. And I know you got some Miami guys back in here too, you know, but when The Rock came in, I always had to lock the weight room. Seriously. Whatever time he was coming in and we block off some time, you know, 30 minutes or whatever it was, I have to lock the weight room. And in our weight room, we had rows of windows to look down into the weight room. I'm telling you now, when word got out that he was there, the secretaries, the wives, the president's wife, I mean, everybody and anybody who's anybody was there waiting to see The Rock. You know, and they would say, come, let me in. I'm like, no, I can't let you in. Can't let you in. And he'd get his thing on, you know, and he'd get all pumped up. And then he walked by, I said, you ready? He said, yeah, let him in. You know, so you let him in, boom, he takes pictures with him, signs, everything. Done. Let's go. Everybody got to go. He's got to go. You know, so, I mean, it was fun times. I mean, Lord, you have blessed me. Next. All right. We had a function there. We got a place called the Stark Center that Terry Todd and Jan Todd, two tremendous legends, you know, in our field of sport and lifting, you know, and then you see Mr. Kazmar back there right behind me. Off right here in the middle in the gray shirt, who do y'all see? Who is that? Pops. Can you stand up for a second? Let's give Pops a hand. He is involved in everything as far as strength is concerned. Then that's Boyd Epley right here in the red tie. He's got the Nebraska tie on. He's got a picture up there too in the Legends. And then right next to him, with a shorter beard, but looking awfully dapper, Bert. Stand up, Bert. Give Bert a hand, please. And thank you for letting us come. Now, you got something else? What do you got? Yeah, that's national championship first one, 90. Okay. We can keep going. That's my family. That's my why. You know, so I got my wife and both my sons, Brandon and Brian. You can keep going. They allowed me to come out here and do this today. All right, we talk about media. Get some real media. That's American Monthly Football. You know, and I've been blessed to do a bunch of covers on a lot of different things, but that was my first cover when I was Coach of the Year from Samson. I really enjoyed that. Next. Okay, that's my grandbaby. You know, that's the one that makes it happen. When things are going wrong, I can look at her eyes. She'll come over and she'll put her little bitty hand on my face. Pop, it's okay. It's okay. She just touched me. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, what you want? Go ahead. How much you need, baby? All right, next. All right, this is what, basically from the Mad Dog training and stuff and competing against the highest competitive level, getting them in the right thing, enhancing mental and physical toughness, in-season, all-season programs. Yes, next, please.
College football is around the corner. UT reports for practice in 2 weeks. Until then, they are in the hands of their strength and conditioning coach, Jeff Mad Dog Madden. And as his name suggests, his workouts are intense, but it's all with a bigger picture in mind. Long before they run out of the tunnel, even before they put the pads on, UT football players meet with Mad Dog.
Elongated backpedal run. Oh, this is a very intense time. I'm very fortunate that Coach Brown lets me run his football team and takes care of his football team in the offseason.
According to the NCAA, Jeff Madden and his training staff are the only ones able to work with the team during this off-season time. Their goal is to not only monitor but maximize the players' physical fitness.
Jesse Ackerman, for you guys that were here a couple years ago. Jesse Ackerman was with the Atlanta Falcons.
I get them ready and get them
worked for me
conditioned
for
so the
several
coaches
years.
can teach them all the X's and O's on how to beat people on the football field.
Go, 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 go.
His workout routines have earned him national recognition, and in May of 2009, he was elected president of the Collegiate Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association.
But what has happened, strength and conditioning, it keeps evolving all the time, and there's more and more science that pertains to strength and conditioning. So we're going to be on the cutting edge of everything.
That was good. You got to coach every set,
Cutting
every rep.
edge means crack of dawn. These guys voluntarily wake up early 4 days a week.
You notice he said voluntarily.
So Mad Dog can push them to the limit.
We got to make sure that our
New
guys are
rules
ready
now,
for
but back then it had to
So
be
what I do is take
voluntary.
them through very tough situations.
That's Blake
during the
Gideon. Blake is
summertime
one of the
that they
DB
can't
coaches
normally
at
take themselves
Texas
through,
now.
and we find a way to fight through.
Consequently, he will lead the team onto the
There we
field
go.
each week. The football team released their practice
can move
schedule
forward.
today. They start Sunday.
UT's Assistant Athletic Director for Strength and Conditioning, Coach Jeff Madden, better known as Mad Dog. An intimidating name with an
We
impressive
can hold on
resume.
that. Yeah.
Mad Dog has turned
Oh,
college
okay,
athlete
okay. All right.
into star athlete.
This is what you can stop that right there. Thank you. I like that guy right there. He's pretty good. You got Jeff, you got Mad Dog, you got Coach Mad Dog, you got a bunch of guys inside me. So this is all what you needed at that time. So basically, you guys watch the Game of Thrones? Anybody raise your hand, you like Game of Thrones? Who was the guy with many faces? Y'all know the guy with many faces? He can change that face at any given time. That's how you got to be in this game. That's how you got to be in strength and conditioning. Because you got the tennis coach 1 minute, then you got the track coach the next minute, then you got the water polo coach, then you got the equestrian coach, then you got the football coach. You got all these people that you got to make happy in your job every single day. So you got to make sure you can do and adjust to everything they need. Anybody have any questions before we set this thing down and go eat? I hear bellies. Anybody's belly grumbling? Raise your hand. Summer Strong on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank y'all.